Thank you very much. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Oh, well, I hope you're having a good time this evening. Thank you for taking that time out of your busy schedule to come and see my show. I hope you've enjoyed the warm-up acts this evening. No, seriously. I was really nervous coming here this evening. I was really nervous, feeling a bit shaky. So I thought, oh my God, what shall I do? thought, oh, I don't know, I might do a song, I might do some comedy. Fortunately, this evening I've had a good chance to do both, which is great. So, when I was at home, I thought, oh, what am I going to do? So I thought, right, I'll ask my mum's advice. So, I went to my mum and I said, oh, you know, I need some advice. I'm doing this thing, I'm getting up with other people, in front of some people, and my mum said, oh, you're going to the police station to do an identity parade, are you? What have you done? So, I asked her advice, and I said, right, so she said, why don't you start with a joke if you're going to do some comedy? So I thought, okay, joke, think of a joke. Right, okay, I said to her, right, okay, there are these nuns. And she said, no. She said, you can't start with a religious joke because, you know, you might offend some people in the audience. You know, because you can't, you know, you don't want to offend anyone. So I was like, right, okay. So I thought about it some more. Oh, there's an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Scotsman. She went, no. Again, because, you know, you don't want to offend anyone. People might think, you know, that you're racist. People who don't know you. It's like, right, okay. So I thought, what joke can I make where I'm not, you know, I can include myself in that. Oh, I know, right. There are these two gay guys. And I went, no. She said, don't do a gay guy joke. She said, people who don't know you might not realise that you're gay. So yeah, so she said, no. No nuns, no English, no gay jokes. I thought, I don't know, so I'm at loss. So my mum said, well, what would your little cousin do? Something nice and clean. I thought, well, my cousin's like 12, so he likes jokes like 2 owls. One says he's getting married, the other one says you twit to woo. And I know, they don't get much better than that. So I thought, right, I know, I'll ask my dad's advice, you know. Mum fails, I'll ask dad's advice. So I went and asked my dad, and I said, I'm doing this audition, I was doing a comedy routine, and Mum says I should start with a joke. And my dad went, oh right, do the one about the nuns. And I said, no. Mum said, no nuns. I said, oh, okay. So he says, okay, what about Englishman, Irishman, and Scotsman? I said, no. Mum said no to that one as well. He goes, really? Because the Irishman comes out really well in that one. I was like, no. She says, no, nothing, none of that. So he says, why don't you tell a joke that like your cousin would tell? So this joke, my cousin told me in the museum. We went to this museum. It was like from modern day back to the Big Bang kind of thing. So we started off in modern times, we went through like Victorians, we went through like the Vikings, that's it, we went through the Vikings. And there was this woman there who took it really, really seriously. She was took it really seriously, she was quite funny. And she was saying all about like shifties who shift one hand to the other with their weapon, and she said, you know, the Vikings all had names, so it might be, I don't know, Kevin the Brave or Andrew the Strong, and she said to me, what would your name be, because it's got to represent your personality. So I said, Keiron the Imbecile, which she didn't really like very much, and she said, oh, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm originally from Ipswich, and she said, oh, you're a Saxon, that makes a lot of sense. I said, well, you're just jealous because we invented the alcoholic cocktail. And she looked at me a bit strangely. I said, Saxon the beach. And she wasn't very impressed with that at all. So we carry on going through. We get back to the dinosaurs. And my cousin turns to me and says, do you know what they call a one-eyed dinosaur? And I said, no, but I know a lesbian dinosaur called a little opus. Anyway, thank you very much.